I beat Pokemon Ultra Sun with the worst Pokemon in the entire series, Wishy-Washy. With a base stat total of 175, it was not looking good. Also, no heals. One thing though, his ability lets him almost quadruple his base stats. So I just removed it. My first struggle was against this man, my rival. But luckily, these games go easy on you, and it was coded so you win every time. So I was able to continue for the time being, until I came across my first trainer. Yeah, it's not looking good. Essentially, Herbinery has the ability Desolate Land, which disables water type moves, and for me, that's bad. No problem though, I just slowly grinded to level 9, where I learned my first non-water move, and I proceeded into my first real rival fight. Let me ask you a question. If you played this game, do you remember the trainer school? No, you don't. Why? Because it's the easiest part. Nah, not for me. Youngster Joey was a menace. Water gun dealt nothing, and this Grimer could just poison me to death. My solution? Endanger the local Meowth population until I'm level 11. Poison takes 8 turns to kill, and his normal attacks could speed it up to 5. But at level 11, I win in 4 turns. So an hour into my endeavors, I was on my first boss fight. There are no gyms in this game, I guess, but there are more important fights. Look, I was on my first turn in this fight, and was ready to give up. None of the other worst Pokemon challenges were this hard. Not all hope was lost though. I wasn't level 100 yet, and that's kind of my only strat right now. And when I came back, it was easy. This man kept using Leer. I don't know why. I still died to Smeargle though. Thing is, I could win if I have speed. Level 1 didn't do this for me, but my backup was just a little luck on his damage rolls for the win. Next up, I had some Grand Trial. It was literally just a mega evolution of this, but it was hard. And I didn't know this, but they could double team me. My solutions stayed the same, grind levels, and I just had to spam Brian. Trust me though, it gets a lot harder. So basically, I gotta fight this man, but his Machop one-shots with revenge. Now, I could lower his attack with a Tearful Look and survive, but it's not like my damage is good either. I needed to live for a while. I grinded here, but mere stat changes from a few levels were insignificant. I also learned Dive though, a big damage boost. So with this, and being able to outspeed and tank a hit, I could win, at least until Crabhammer came out. I tried leveling until I learned Takedown, and now that I had the Z move for it, I could 2-shot. This means that if I get lucky, and he uses Power Up Punch, I win. My next challenge was at Akala Island, and here, I had another one of these totem Pokemon, but this one was harder. Let me put this into perspective. I used my Z move and dealt this much damage, and I was 2-shot. After leveling up, I decided it was time to use stat boosting items, like X defenses. Now look, these helped, kinda. It allowed me to survive longer, but I would have to use a lot of them, and would keep taking damage, basically having me end up 2-shot either way. I had to face it. The only way to win was locking in on the ground, so I did, for a minute and returned, with one more strat in my mind. Now stat boosts were good and all, but Roto boost kicked up every stat, but combining one with a dire hit, which is needed to help me crit on this man, carried me to the win. This next Grand Trial was honestly not too bad. All fire types, but they do make you fight this one trainer beforehand, and he was unfair. I swear, whose idea was it to make Magmar immune to water type attacks? To be fair, I beat a second trial once I actually knew about this, but me and the devs, we still have beef. But yeah, I basically one-shot the whole trial, though I can't really say the same about this one. So this was located in the lush jungle, and I don't even know where to start here. I had to fight 3 Pokemon before I even got into the trial, every time, and the chances that I wouldn't take damage doing this were like 0. I can assure you that I would have given up real quick if I did not have Protect. Okay, why is this important? Well, a new Solar Blade, and I was 1-shot, but Solar Blade actually helped me win. It takes 1 charging turn, meaning I could attack then and protect when Solar Blade hits. Problem is, I'm weak, and my first move always goes to our ally Pokemon, since that thing would just use Sunny Day, and then I would immediately die. So from here, I had 2 to 3 turns to do what I want. Now I need to be careful, so I spent my time using Tearful Look to weaken it. Eventually, it would start to mix Low Sweep into the rotation. A much weaker move. Next problem though is this Comfey, a second ally Pokemon. It needed to go out in one hit. Why? Well, it could raise its defense and let Lurantis kill me. It could heal Lurantis, although I don't usually deal damage at this point. Or finally, use Sunny Day, and it's a death for me. And from here, my only goal was to have enough HP to finish off Lurantis. Who's to say what would have happened though? Because on my winning run, Lurantis never even summoned Comfey. I'm not mad. With this, I didn't get a break. In fact, I had a new Grand Trial to worry about, the Bug one. Now Bug is not good, so it should be easy. But trust me, Bug in this challenge was rough. For once though, I could actually beat the first Pokemon. The problem is though, nothing is gonna stand a chance against the Lileep's Giga Drain. Now scripting this, I know exactly how I should win this fight, but I forget what I actually did, so let's see. I just want to get Undertale for the typing, use Tearful Look on Lileep, and then a Dire Hit to boost my crit chances. As long as 1 or 2 of my next attacks crit, I'll be good to go against Lycanroc, who was not 1-shot. But because I had the dire hit from earlier, it was just a matter of retrying until I got lucky enough to crit. I continued through the game scot-free, thinking, man, this might be getting easier. But nah, I was faced with the worst challenge yet when this goofy kid came up to me with this thing. Now I feel here that it's time for a little explanation on why this is the hardest challenge I've ever done. Since I beat Pokemon Emerald with just Sunkern, whose stat total is only 5 higher, it was much easier. Essentially, most gyms lead in with a weak Pokemon, meaning I can use stat boost and prepare for the rest of the fight. But these totem Pokemon, I mean first turn, they on you. Also, no daycare is wild. Really answers every one of these vids. Alright, on to the fight though. Good news, I outspeed. Bad news, I'm one tap, and my damage does not one tap. Also, his ally is Skarmory. Yeah, it's not looking too good so far. My one hope here though was that with a Roto boost, I wasn't one shot. I got close, but that doesn't even matter. Here's my thought process. I die because I get hit by attacks, right? So what if I just don't get hit? Now hold on a sec. Rewind that little head clasp. If I use Attract, there's a 50% chance he won't attack me each turn. So yeah, just gotta get lucky. Really lucky. I decided though, if I wanted a good chance here, I'd have to level up. So at level 59, I came back in. And here's what my goal was. Use Attract, 2 Roto boosts, and 3 attacks to get the kill. Unless Skarmory uses Torment, in which case it's 4. After some math, I figured out the odds were 1.56% each turn. Not that bad honestly. So I was out of here after a minute. My next fight was bad. It was 2 Pokemon in type and Hell. Goliscopod, or however you pronounce it, is resistant to water and steel, meaning all I could use was Double Edge, which I take recoil from. So I looked at this round move. I got the TM for it, but I have really bad special attack and his base power is low to begin with. Even when I could get past Goliscopod, Masquerain would finish me off. My solution though, it was simple. First attack by him is always powerful, but it only works first turn, so just protect here. From here, he would either use Razor Shell or Sucker Punch, but Sucker Punch only hits if I use an attacking move. If I use Roto Boost and a Dire hit, all I would have to do is finish him off with 1 crit. This would leave me with enough HP to beat Masquerain. A little progression got me to my next totem Pokemon, Mimikyu, and I cannot lie, it was not looking good. The win seemed out of reach, but all I needed was the Iron Tail TM. I led in with a Roto Boost, one-shot Mimikyu with Iron Tail Z move, and hopefully Banette was being nice. Next up, I mean Golbat is just tough. I'm 2-shot and it's an absolute tank. I'm gonna be honest though, these Roto Boosts just do not miss. Made this fight easy, still took me an hour though. Next up, I did this extremely difficult puzzle and arrived at my rematch with this man. Now this was the same thing, but harder, and the addition of Pinsir, but it was essentially the same strat. Hope he uses Razor Shell while I apply a few buffs, get the kill, one-shot Masquerain, and hope Pinsir can't kill. But yeah, another easy win. From here, it was another 2 easy fights until I reached Aether Paradise. Now here, I was getting under-leveled, so we had to fix that, but grinding was getting slow, and I had no daycare. Now Meowth could pick up rare candies off enemies without having to fight at all, thanks to his ability. But remember how my abilities are all randomized? So that means one Pokemon throughout this entire game has the ability pickup. I was feeling kinda hopeless here, but with some insane stroke of luck, I saw that it was Magnemite, and after a little while, was able to get myself to level 74. With this, it was easy, fight after fight. I even rematched this man, no problem. But everything good must come to an end, and so I faced Ultra Necrozma. Hold on though, cause the journey here wasn't something to gloss over either. Alright, first up we hit level 90. This took a minute, but it wasn't looking helpful for this thing right here. Komodo is just crazy honestly. Him plus Noivern almost one-shots, even with the Roto boost. My solution? Well, first off level 100, but aside from this, I just had to use the Attract strat and get lucky, if I'm being honest. So here I was, walking up to Ultra Necrozma. Honestly, I didn't know who this dude was until I was fighting this thing. He's just irrelevant, can't even be that hard. Oh, he's not looking good. Not at all. He one-shots, and even with a Roto boost, he still does like a third of the time. I needed to win, only taking 1 hit. But how? Well, there was a lot of experimenting, as Attract didn't work on this thing. My first idea was Ice Beam. It had a 10% chance of freezing, but I don't have access to the TM yet. Second idea was much better. Poison him with Toxic, which takes 6 turns to kill. I could handle 3 of those with Protect, and the others with Substitute, I thought. But since I would have taken damage first turn, Substitute's impossible. Next idea was Swagger. It would raise his attack, but also confuse him. I didn't have access to the TM though, and looking back on it, I don't think this would have worked. Here is where I found my saving grace, Water Pulse, with a 20% chance of confusion and no attack buff. Problem is, confusion doesn't last forever. How do I attack? Well, if he hurts himself in confusion twice, once on the turn I used it, and again on the next turn, I could use Toxic, and only have to survive 4 turns to win. I could take 2 of these from Protect, but that leaves 2 turns for me to die. This is where Rest comes in. Rest restores my HP fully, meaning if I use a Roto boost on a full turn, it would allow me to tank a hit. Problem is, Rest takes 2 turns, because you fall asleep, but I had one solution. If I held a Chesto Berry, I could rest once and wake up on the same turn. Now my final turn, I would also rest, and I would stay asleep, but he would die here anyway, so waking up didn't matter. So to summarize, here's the turn by turn. 1. Roto boost to almost survive. 2. Water Pulse, apply confusion, Necrozma hurts in confusion. 3. Toxic, Necrozma hurts in confusion. 4. Protect. 5. Rest restores HP, wake up the same turn with Chesto Berry, and tank an attack. 6. Protect. 7. Rest again, don't wake up, tank attack, he dies. It's a 1 in 45 chance every time, and so the grind began. Come on, please, don't kill. Let's go. That's it. It took way too long. And here, I was finally done with the hardest fight I've ever completed in a Pokemon challenge. And now, I had my sights set on the Elite Four. But I couldn't head there quite yet. I had some final tests or some. Speedrun starting now though. First up was this person, easy. Next up was my rematch against her, not so easy. And Earthquake, the TM I wanted, wasn't available. What makes this hard though is that the move relearner isn't available until the Elite Four, so I was stuck with TMs and this dumbass moveset. I knew that to win, I would need a powerful move, so I went here to learn Facade, but this wasn't powerful enough either. So I purposely got myself poisoned, which just so happens to double the power of Facade. From here, I was good. I got through the rest of the trial pretty safely, but I must admit, I stood no chance to Hapu, the final trial. And I'm not proud of it, but the fight was feeling impossible, and I had to cheat and use heals. I was ashamed, but I swore never again, aside from in between Elite Four members, because without that, I mean, it would be impossible. Enough of this though, it was time for me to finish this challenge. Real quick, join up the Discord. I went up to the Elite Four, and after some consideration, I decided on my final moveset. Attract, it's always pretty vital. Hydro Pump, water was pretty good here, and I need something high base power. Double Edge, it has recoil, but is also my most powerful move, and was good for when they were resistant to water. Ice Beam is powerful, can freeze, and its typing is crucial for these fights. Okay, I was ready. And got into the first fight. It was a steel type fight, and it was looking good. I could spam 6 roto boosts, barely even taking a dent in my HP. Sure, the enemies were powerful, but they didn't stand a chance against my behemoth of a Pokemon. Second fight posed a little more of a challenge. This damage was crazy. I used Attract strat and 2 roto boosts. I could take a one hit doing so and survive, and then land the one shot. Next Pokemon Cradily was light work. Gigalith and Lycanroc were one shot, leaving my Z move ready for Probo Pass and getting me the win. Next fight, my damage took a pitfall, but Banette was a male, leaving the Attract strat open, meaning that with 4 roto boosts, I could get the win. I was speedrunning these and heading into my second to last fight. This one was crazy in a good way. All of them were weak, easy win. But here, I was in my last fight, and damn, it was bad. Alright, so the obvious part to me was that I needed the Attract strat. The problem is, he's faster, so I'll die before I can make a move. Attract was the only way to win though, so I needed to get rid of my Z move and attach Quick Claw, but this only works 1/5 of the time in the first place, automatically invalidating 80% of runs. Once I'd landed Attract, I would need Roto Boost. I did some testing and realized that I would need about 90 HP for Primarina, because she requires Double Edge and I take Recoil. Now the problem is, odds here are absolute ass, like unbelievable. First, I needed a Quick Claw to proc, and then land 5 Attracts, and land 4 Hydro Pumps, but that only has 85% accuracy. I did the math, the chances of a successful run were 0.258%. Honestly, not horrible, but I had to reset for a while. That's Pokemon Ultra Sun with a single wishy-washy. Alright, so after seeing the Hall of Fame, it was over. After 38 long hours. Now this was hard, but beating Heart Gold without taking any damage with just one Pokemon was harder.